Roadrunner Rundown on Bakersfield.com and the CSUB Roadrunners Digital Network.
Bakersfield punches their ticket to the NCAA tournament.
Live from downtown Bakersfield, California.
Driving Harrington for the win. Yes! CSU Roadrunners are your Western Athletic Conference baseball champions.
Here's the voice of the runners, Corey Costello.
Hey, welcome in once again to Roadrunner Rundown, the official program, CSUB Roadrunner Athletics. I'm Corey Costello. Thanks so much for joining us once again here in downtown Bakersfield for today's program. And we got a good one for you. Glad to be back live. I hope you enjoyed the Fall Sports Preview Edition last week on the program. And some of our fall sports were in action last week. We'll get to some of the highlights and scores of that coming up. Here's what we got coming up on the program today, though. We're going to be speaking in the next segment with Greg McCall, our women's basketball head coach. The CSUB Roadrunners just coming off an international tour, as a matter of fact. They were in Costa Rica a couple weeks ago, and we'll get a chance to catch up with Coach McCall. The Runners winning all three games in their exhibition tour in Costa Rica, so we'll chat with him about that. Also, their schedule came out, so we'll be chatting with Coach McCall about the 2015-16 CSUB women's basketball schedule and all that good stuff coming up in the next segment of the program. Also on the show today, excited for this one at 10:30, we're going to be speaking with a former Roadrunner, a baseball player, that so to speak, Jeremy Rodriguez, a former catcher with the Roadrunners and draft pick by the San Diego Padres. But the great story with J-Rod was this past year he was playing in Lake Elsinore in the California League, and an opportunity came to him. The organization came to him and said, we need a manager for the Dominican Summer League Padres. And so he retired as a baseball player after a few years in the minors to become a skipper, and he just got done with his first season in the Dominican Republic as a manager in the San Diego Padres organization. So we'll chat with him on the phone coming up in the bottom of the hour. Real excited for that. Had a good season with the DSL Padres, and really excited for the future that Jeremy Rodriguez has with the San Diego Padres organization as a manager, as a coach, and really cool story that he was able to sort of transition so quickly from player to manager. So we'll chat with him coming up at the bottom of the hour. And in the final segment of today's program, we're going to be speaking with the CSUB team surgeon. We've had him on the show before. Always a great guest, Dr. Christopher Hamilton of Southern California Orthopedic Institute. He'll join us. We're going to talk about, they got a couple new things going on there at SCOI, a few new features, including total hip replacement surgeries that are currently being done as well. We'll talk with him about that. Also, we'll get to some of the athletic side of things. Of course, as the seasons get rolling and athletes get playing, we'll kind of talk about injury preventions and all that good stuff as well. So we got that coming up at the final segment of today's program as well with Dr. Christopher Hamilton of Southern California Orthopedic Institute. So a lot of stuff to get to on the program today. Reminder, next week we're going to be live on campus. As a matter of fact, for our first on-campus edition of Roadrunner Rundown next week during the week of welcome. Let's get to some highlights, shall we? We'll start with women's soccer as the Roadrunners had two home games. Sacramento State Friday night, big night for Sac State goalkeeper Destiny Butcher. Right off the bat, she turns away this Amina Settles shot away, but Sac State went up 3-0 at the half. But second half action, there's a foul in the box. Maya Green goes down, so that means one thing. PK for the Roadrunners, and it's going to be, you guessed it, Maya Green getting it set up for CSUB, as Green going to put this one away for the Roadrunners, her third goal of the season, and it's a 3-1 match. 8 minutes later, Runners put a lot of pressure on in the second half after going down 3-0. Then they go at 3-1 here, and then a lot of pressure from Bakersfield as a nice turnover for the Roadrunners there. But once again, it's going to be Butcher on the save for Sac State. Another one coming here. She deflects that shot wide. Bakersfield couldn't figure her out until right here in the 51st minute. Another great shot attempt by the Runners. That one is going to go in, and it's a 3-2 match. All of a sudden, CSUB knocking on the door of a pretty big, improbable comeback, and the Roadrunners 3-2. Couldn't quite get it done, though. They fall 3-2 to Sacramento State on Friday night. It was Maya Green with the goal along with Amina Settles for CSUB. And then Runners on Sunday, trying to mimic the conference schedule to play Friday and Sunday. they lose 3-0 to a pretty good UC Riverside squad as well. 3-0 in that loss there for Bakersfield. So the Roadrunners, here's what they have coming up. They're going to be at Hawaii coming up this weekend. The Runners against the Rainbow Wahine on Saturday, 7 o'clock Hawaii time. So that's going to be 10 p.m. Pacific on Saturday night. The Roadrunners against Hawaii this Saturday. So Bakersfield with one game on the women's soccer slate, and they will be in Hawaii for that. And they're not back for a couple weeks. Meanwhile, for men's soccer, Bakersfield playing two years ago, or last year I should say, the Runners lost in double overtime to UC Davis, 2-1 at the main soccer field. A year later, the Runners get a little bit of payback in the form of a Brian Charles goal, double overtime as Bakersfield beats UC Davis. This match was a good one. The Runners getting the win 2-1 over UC Davis as Brian Charles scores his first goal of the season, his first career goal for CSUB as well, and boy did he make it count. Runners win it 2-1 over UC Davis on Friday night. Then on Sunday, Runners staying in Northern California, they were able to earn a 1-1 draw with Sacramento State. Christian Duarte with the goal for the Roadrunners. CSUB is now 1-1 on the season, and they're going to be coming in to Bakersfield. Their official home opener coming up on Friday night. The Runners are going to host Loyola Marymount at 7:30. Apparently, people in Los Angeles think an extra half hour is going to make it that much cooler. In Bakersfield, everyone down in LA thinks it's the scorched earth up here. So it's going to be a 7:30 kickoff on Friday night, not the normal 7 o'clock. LMU at CSUB, again, 7:30 the kickoff. And that ticket's available right now as well, valleytix.com. $9 for adults, $6 for kids. Buy them online, valleytix.com, or call 654-BLUE. So big home opener coming up for men's soccer. Volleyball, they were on the road. They're going to be on the road till October, and they split the final day of the Trojan Invitational in Troy, Alabama. Runners losing the first match to Eastern Tennessee 3-0. Kelsey Sawyer with 11 kills in the loss for CSUB, but the Runners able to get their first win of the season in form of a 3-1 victory over Alabama State. Carol Grasso with 22 kills and 19 digs in the victory for CSUB. The Roadrunners also getting Morgan DeMarco named to the all-tournament team for CSUB in that one. Here's what's upcoming for the Runners. As we mentioned, they stay on the road for volleyball. It's been a long road swing for them to start the season. Matter of fact, they don't open their home schedule till October, but they're going to be at the Blue Jay Invitational. That's going to be in Creighton, which is in Omaha. Here's their schedule this weekend. It's going to be Bakersfield against Pacific. They go all the way to Omaha to play the Tigers, but it's going to be Friday night, and then the Runners on Saturday have a doubleheader. They'll take on Lipscomb on Saturday in the first match, and then host Creighton on Saturday evening. So there are the Roadrunners notes and what's happening with CSUB volleyball. By the way, on a cross-country note, Runners will be on the road at the Fresno Bulldog Invitational on Friday. Angel Valdez finished in 9th place in the season opener last week at Pepperdine for CSUB. So that was the first one of the season for the Roadrunners, and Angel Valdez cracking the top 10 for Bakersfield in that one. So a pretty good start for Runners cross country. They'll be at the Bulldog Invitational this weekend and this Friday, see how they do in that one, and we'll be catching up with the cross country team in the weeks to come. Reminder, next week on the program, we will be live at on campus as we have our week of welcome show. As classes open up for CSUB, we'll be speaking with our new baseball coach, Bob Macaluso will join us on the program next week. Try to get Coach Mac on this week, but he's out and about already, and so we'll be catching up with him next week on the program. Also tracking down CSUB President Dr. Horace Mitchell and whoever else we can find just kind of wandering around there on week of welcome. Always have a great reception from the student athletes, the Spirit Squad as well. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Next week we'll be live again on campus at CSUB for the week of welcome and the first on campus edition of Roadrunner Rundown this season. Hoping to do a few more of those here in 2015-16. All right, we're going to step away and take a break. When we come back, we're going to speak with Greg McCall, our head women's basketball coach. We will talk with him about the recent trip to Costa Rica and also his 2015-16 schedule, which was released a couple weeks ago. We'll go through that as well with Coach McCall. And as I said, recap that very cool exhibition trip they took, and 3 wins for the Runners and a chance to play internationally as well. So we'll talk with him about that when we return. We'll be back. This is Roadrunner Rundown.
College
College soccer heats up with 3 games coming to the CSUB main soccer field. First, CSUB women's soccer hosts Sacramento State on September 4th and UC Riverside on Sunday, September 6th. Men's soccer returns to action for their official home opener on Friday, September 11th as the Runners host Loyola Marymount at 7:30. Tickets are $9 for adults and $6 for kids. Join the Runners this season at the main soccer field.
Introducing a new way to get the news. The Bakersfield Californian e-edition. It's not a website, it's the actual Bakersfield Californian right on your laptop, tablet computer, even your smartphone. All the news, features, pictures, and ads you're used to right at your fingertips. Now you can get the Californian on your schedule, anytime, anywhere, anyplace. Get your new Bakersfield Californian e-edition today. Visit eedition.bakersfield.com.
CSUB women's soccer returns to the main soccer field September 23rd and 26th for a pair of huge matches. Join us on Wednesday the 23rd for the annual Rowdy Run as we welcome new students to CSUB at halftime while the Roadrunners take on UC Santa Barbara at 7 p.m. Then on Saturday, September 26th, the Runners open conference play against Grand Canyon at 7 o'clock. Tickets are $8 for adults and $5 for kids and available at valleytix.com or by calling 654-BLUE. CSUB women's soccer September 23rd and 26th at the main soccer field.
Introducing a new way to get the news. The Bakersfield Californian e-edition. It's not a website, it's the actual Bakersfield Californian right on your tablet computer, laptop, even your smartphone. All the news, features, pictures, and ads you're used to right at your fingertips. Now you can get the Californian on your schedule, anytime, anywhere, anyplace. Get your new Bakersfield Californian e-edition today. Visit eedition.bakersfield.com.
The Bakersfield Californian is a great read on the iPad, but did you know that the Bakersfield Californian is available on your Kindle Fire? Or how about Google's Nexus 7? The Nook? You bet! You can also read a full replica of the newspaper on your Android-powered smartphone, on Apple's iPhone, or on your laptop. We have a solution for any device. E-edition is free for subscribers, or just $7.99 a month. The Bakersfield Californian. We're everywhere and anytime. Subscribe today. Bakersfield.com.
Roadrunners basketball 2015-16 season tickets are on sale now. Don't miss your chance to see top-notch NCAA basketball right here on the blue court in Bakersfield. Men's basketball season tickets start as low as $112 for 16 games, or you can buy combination season tickets for every men's and women's home game this season. For all the new season ticket options for this season, visit GoRunners.com and find the ticket that's right for you. CSU basketball season tickets available now. To order or for more information, call 654-BLUE. Welcome back to Roadrunner Rundown. Still to come on the program, Jeremy Rodriguez, former Roadrunner and manager in the San Diego Padres organization. Not of the San Diego Padres yet. I think he will be one day. Right now, the Dominican Summer League Padres just wrapped up with that ordeal. We'll chat with him about that. Also, Dr. Christopher Hamilton will join us from Southern California Orthopedic Institute, team surgeon for the Roadrunners, and we'll talk with him about all the good stuff they have coming up at Southern California Orthopedic Institute and just some kind of injury prevention stuff and injury stuff as we get into the seasons for our teams. All right, joining us now in studio, fresh off his Costa Rican getaway, is head coach Greg McCall, joining us on the program, women's basketball. Coach, how'd you enjoy the trip?
Yeah, thanks for having me back, and the trip was great.
Right on.
It was a wonderful trip.
Well, you guys went 3-0, so that's good. I mean, anytime you take these international tours, I mean, it's always nice to win, and you got some victories over the national team there, as well as a local squad too. So let's talk from a basketball perspective, kind of how important those games were. Not only a chance to get your team sort of playing early, but you got a lot of practice in over the summer as well because of that.
Yes, we did. We were able to get in 10 practices, and so we were able to get those in, and it was really good for us to be able to do that. It was really good for our team because of the simple fact, we lost a key piece with Ty being gone, and it was going to be really interesting to see how we perform with her not being on the floor with us for the first time. And it's just like I thought it was going to be. We're going to be more team-oriented. You never know who's going to step up what night. And one thing that's one of the things that we found out. Now, the one thing that we are definitely still in search for is like, okay, at the end of the game, who do we go to?
Yeah.
And that's going to be one of those things, I guess, who has the hot hand at that night. And we have so many weapons that it's going to be really interesting for us to see who's going to be that go-to person.
I want to talk about Addie Walters, who led your team in every game, 21 points in the first game, and just kind of 19 in the next one, and again she led in the third game as well. Obviously, I mean this is a freshman, but she's scoring, and she's 7 of 10 from beyond the arc, and I mean, wow, I mean, talk about it. You knew she could play, you knew she could score, but did you expect this kind of a quick impact?
No, not this quick, but we were hoping that it did come around. But we've always said that she, as a freshman, is about where Brooke was as a junior, senior, going into her Brooke's senior year. So she has the smarts. The basketball family tree is really good. So, but we are very excited about the fact that she came in and doing the things what she was doing, especially shooting the basketball. I gave her the green light right away. I think right before we took off to go to Costa Rica, I showed her some of Brooke's video of her senior year. Some of the things, how we would utilize her and the capacity that we would utilize her at, and she took full advantage of that video.
Nice.
And she soaked it in, and she was draining shots from everywhere. And I'm one of those type of coaches, the deeper the better for me. So if you can shoot the three ball deeper than the three-point line, hey, that works out good. So I think one of her threes that she shot, I think she was like 17 for 26 for the whole entire 3 games, and I think one of the threes that she shot, she was standing so far out of bounds. I like it. I like those deep, but let's make them count.
Stay inside the lines for sure. Obviously you get a chance to go to another country and play. What was it like, though, to just get these games in, but kind of get them into, I don't want to say a casual atmosphere, but really to go there and just kind of just play basketball without really all the formalities of what normally would be a preseason game or an exhibition game here in the States?
I kind of got an opportunity to kind of see also, too, how my team does during games. We had a lot of different activities, and they still went out and performed very well. The bus rides over, they were, most of the time you have to kind of tell your teams sometime to get focused or whatever.
Right.
But it's just been a tradition now that they just been, they get on the bus and they put their music on or whatever they do, and they get in the zone, and regardless of whatever we did earlier that day. So that was good to see that they can get in the zone and be ready to go and play. Because we had a lot of activities before. We were sightseeing.
Yeah, we're showing some of the stuff on the screen. You guys were running clinics as well. What did you do? A couple clinics, then you guys went to a coffee plantation.
Everything, So it was really good to see that they can do all this stuff and boom, snap right into game mode. And so it was good. So good for me to see that part. That way I'll know how to react and respond to them throughout the season. That we can, be lax and loose and then still go play.
And then you guys got a chance to, like we said, put on a few clinics as well and things like, what did you notice any difference between, I know there's a difference in the international style of play compared to the States. I mean, were you teaching a foreign concept of basketball to them, or were they kind of on the same page as far as how you played the game here in the U.S.?
They were all on the same page with the basic concepts. Actually, their footwork at this age was a lot better than ours, and I think a lot of it, comes from their, what they call football, soccer.
Sure.
I think a lot of it, stems from that, because their footwork was good, but it was the waist up that they struggled with, on a lot of different things. But from the waist down, their footwork was really, really good.
Nice. And I saw at one point, I think at the very end of this clip, we've got you ziplining. What was that? What was that experience like?
Man.
And did they have to pay you to get up on that platform to take off?
Actually, they did not have to pay me.
You were good?
I was pumped about doing it. I was excited about going ziplining. That was one of my biggest things. It's that first initial takeoff.
Sure.
The first one that you go on, and after that, you're good. You kind of feel like you got the hang of it after the first one, And
Right.
if you don't get it on the first one, okay, the second one is a little bit scarier, but you're good.
Nice. No, it seemed like you had a great time. You got to see a lot of stuff, which is a great experience, because so many times I think really with the student athletes during our travel, it's so business-like, as you pointed out. I mean, you go on the road to different cities and you don't get a chance to really see that city. I mean, it's practice, it's shoot around, it's meals, and it's game time. I mean, it's really, and then you mix in study halls as well. So not a chance to really do a lot of team building. So this kind of stuff probably helps a little bit.
Yeah, it did. It really did. The girls had a great time. time. We did a lot of great things together.
Here you go, right here.
as a
Here's your zip
team.
lining right here.
Yeah.
There you go. See ya. Dragging that hand.
Yeah, had to get that. I think that might have been the first one, so had to make sure I was safety on that one. After that, I was a little bit loose.
just went.
I just went and kind of one time got turned around on accident, going backwards, so I was good. I was good.
There you go.
It was
Well,
really fun.
you guys got a chance to see plenty of stuff. And did you get a feel about how this team is going to – because you have some new faces, so did you get a feel about how this team's going to interact with each other and get along and all that good stuff?
Yeah, I always, kind of sometimes hate to continue to mention her name, but Ty was such a great leader for
Right.
us when the time she was here, pretty much from the time after she got hurt. And so it's like 3 years in a row. She led this squad, and she set the tone for us. So now the tone has been set. And so this squad is really, really close. I mean, they're closer than I've ever seen a squad.
Good.
They do a lot of things together. I think one day before we left to go to Costa Rica, they had a $5 thing at Olive Garden, and the whole team, they just took themselves
Nice.
down there. So they do a lot of things together.
That's awesome. Now let's talk schedule. Came out a couple weeks ago. You guys, I don't know if you changed leagues and are playing in the SEC this year, but you guys really have got a tough schedule
Oh, my gosh.
that you
Yeah.
have put together. We'll start in November. You'll open on Friday the 13th against Pacific at the Icardo Center, and then UC Santa Barbara and San Jose State. UC Santa Barbara on the road on the 19th, San Jose State on the 22nd on Sunday at home at the Icardo Center as well. Then you go to the Waikiki Beach Marriott Rainbow Wahine Showdown in Hawaii. You'll play Hawaii, South Carolina, and Arizona State. So that was kind of a late addition to your schedule, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a late addition. It was a situation where we could not turn that down, what Hawaii did for us. And they pay for us to come over
Right.
and pay for the rooms. And in return, they coming back to us in the same year. So it was kind of a no-brainer for us to be able to take that. Now, yes, it is two tough games that are on there, South Carolina and Arizona State. Arizona State we played last year. Really good team. I know they lost some key pieces, but she does a really good job of recruiting. So
Yeah.
they're going to be good again. So it's like all the schools that when you continue to go down, you'll be able to see, like, I think we'll be in the Pac-12.
Yeah, exactly. You got Fresno State on Wednesday, December 2nd, a few days after you get back from Hawaii. That's going to be in Fresno. And then your WNIT rematch, Saturday, December 5th at UCLA.
Yes, that should be a good one for us. I mean, they have everyone back. I think, should be one of the top teams in the country as well, too. I think they did lose one point guard, but she didn't play when we played last year. But they're going to be really good. They'll be good.
Yeah, then back at home on Tuesday, December 8th against Pepperdine. And then on the road, Saturday, December 12th at UC Riverside. And then on the road again, another Pac-12 school on the preseason schedule. Tuesday, December 15th against Oregon State in Corvallis. You've had some success against Oregon State in the past. It's always a good matchup when you play them, and so this time you get to go on the road.
Yeah, we go on the road. They're going to be loaded as well, too. They'll probably be in the top 5 here coming up preseason ranking. I'm thinking probably South Carolina be ranked number 2 at the time.
Yeah.
I know for sure Oregon State will be up there. So they're going to be really good. They have a lot of everybody back as well, too. Plus they have some good pieces that are coming in. So they're really, really loaded.
And then Cal Poly at the Carter Center on December 19th. And then interesting one here, another Pac-12 school and a one with a little special meeting. Tuesday, December 22nd at Stanford in Palo Alto. I get a chance to coach against your daughter. How's that going to be?
It's going to be fun. Fun, competitive. My juices are flowing for that game. I know hers as well, too. So, I mean, it's going to be really fun. And I think it's a good rival game, a good family rival, so it'll be something special.
It's got to be. I think the other part from your daughter's standpoint as well. I mean, she really grew up around this program,
Yes.
and just couldn't turn down the opportunity to go play in Stanford. But she really loves this program here in Bakersfield, so that's got to be an interesting one for her as well to play against Dad and against a program that she's always been around.
Exactly, because she gets to come home, and like she's home right now,
Yeah.
and she works out with a lot of our players. She hangs out with a lot of our players all the time. They go hang out together. So my players love her, and she loves them. So it's going to be really interesting to see how she performs against them and they against her.
Yeah, and then you'll be your final. Then you've got a couple non-conference home games to wrap up the non-conference portion of the schedule against Hawaii. They're returning that game, as we mentioned earlier, on Wednesday, December 30th at the Icardo Center, and then Sunday, January 3rd at 1 o'clock. You're going to be taking on UC Irvine at the Icardo Center as well. And then conference play opens up. You open with Chicago State on Thursday, January the 7th, and then you'll be home to Missouri, Kansas City as well on the Saturday, January 9th, and Saturday, January 16th, you're home to Seattle U as well. And then on the road, UTRGV, New Mexico State, the 21st and 23rd. And then you got the rest of the kind of back and forth bouncing around. You got Grand Canyon, Utah Valley at the Carter Center, the 28th and the 30th. Talk about the conference this year. I mean, New Mexico State made a late run last year to win it, but Utah Valley is a good team that's kind of been up and coming and getting better, and Grand Canyon's kind of doing the same. And UTRGV beat you guys in the semis last year. They got some talent. So where do you see this team, this conference this year in the women's basketball side?
Conference is going to be really, really good again. It's going to be, one of those things that's kind of still up in the air. There's no clear-cut favorite, I believe. I mean, even though New Mexico State, they bring everyone back.
Yeah.
But it's still not clear-cut. They've come close to getting beat last year, and then we were the only ones that split with them, and we let that game slip away from us at their place. So they know that we are one of the top teams that they're going to have to play against year in and year out. So they, definitely we're somebody that they have to worry about. And so I think that we are, right there in the thick of things. I think that we'll be one of the top teams again in the conference. I'm looking forward to this year. Thinking that we can go out and do some special things and be able to sneak away with this conference championship.
Well, and like we meant, I mean, it always, as it does every year, it comes down to 3 days in March. And
3 days in March.
March 9th, 11th, and 12th at the Orleans Arena in Las Vegas will be the conference tournament. So we'll see how that plays out for your team. And, Coach, good luck to you. And I know we got the WAC basketball preview coming up in October that you get a chance to talk more about the season in this conference. But good luck to you, and we'll be catching up with you here in the very near future.
Yeah, thank you. And I think the Costa Rica trip helps prepare us for the conference tournament as well as the trip to Hawaii, because we'll be playing 3 games over there as well, too. So it's going to be a really good season. And thanks again. Look forward to having all our fans out to our games again this year. It was really good, and we're hoping to do another record-breaking year for attendance.
And the caveat, too, is this is a very tough schedule. So, I mean, we would encourage fans, don't get, if some of these teams you're playing, like you said, South Carolina could be number 2 in the country.
Yes.
Let's not get frustrated. And if you lose that game to South Carolina and you have a rough road trip, I mean, this is a very tough schedule, folks.
Yeah,
I mean,
it is.
It comes down to 3 days in March, and it comes down really to the conference schedule. Yeah. And that's when we really need fans to be there. So, I mean, don't get frustrated after a loss or two, because, hey, all these conference games mean a lot. We need people there.
Exactly. And I think out of those games that we're playing, all those tough games, I believe that we'll be able to slip up on like 2 or 3 teams. So yeah. I think somebody is going to get it.
Good. Looking forward to it. Coach, thanks so much for joining us.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Season tickets available, by the way. GoRunners.com/TIX. You can check out all the season ticket packages available for women's basketball. We're going to step away, take a break. When we come back, Jeremy Rodriguez will join us, former Roadrunner, and now he's a manager inside the San Diego Padres organization. Just wrapped up with the Dominican Summer League Padres. We'll talk with him next. Stick around. This is Roadrunner Rundown.
We're all runners.
We're all runners.
We're all runners.
Join us for the beautiful game in a beautiful place.
CSUB men's soccer season tickets are on sale now.
Support us this season
by buying your tickets to CSUB men's soccer.
Let's go Runners!
CSUB soccer on in 2015.
Purchase your tickets today.
Go Runners! Bakersfield! Yeah!
Introducing a new way to get the news. The Bakersfield Californian e-edition. It's not a website, it's the actual Bakersfield Californian right on your laptop, tablet computer, even your smartphone. All the news, features, pictures, and ads you're used to right at your fingertips. Now you can get the Californian on your schedule, anytime, anywhere, anyplace. Get your new Bakersfield Californian e-edition today. Visit eedition.bakersfield.com. Introducing a new way to get the news. The Bakersfield Californian e-edition. It's not a website, it's the actual Bakersfield Californian right on your tablet computer, laptop, even your smartphone. All the news, features, pictures, and ads you're used to right at your fingertips. Now you can get the Californian on your schedule, anytime, anywhere, anyplace. Get your new Bakersfield Californian e-edition today. Visit eedition.bakersfield.com.
CSUB Women's Soccer returns to the main soccer field September 23rd and 26th for a pair of huge matches. Join us on Wednesday the 23rd for the annual Rowdy Run as we welcome new students to CSUB at halftime while the Roadrunners take on UC Santa Barbara at 7 p.m. Then on Saturday, September 26th, the Runners open conference play against Grand Canyon at 7 o'clock. Tickets are $8 for adults and $5 for kids and available at valleytix.com or by calling 654-BLUE. CSUB Women's Soccer September 23rd and 26th at the main soccer field.
The Bakersfield Californian is a great read on the iPad, but did you know that the Bakersfield Californian is available on your Kindle Fire? Or how about Google's Nexus 7, the Nook? You bet. You can also read a full replica of the newspaper on your Android-powered smartphone, on Apple's iPhone, or on your laptop. We have a solution for any device. E-Edition is free for subscribers, or just $7.99 a month. The Bakersfield Californian. We're everywhere and anytime. Subscribe today. Bakersfield.com.
Welcome back to Roadrunner Rundown. My thanks to Greg McCall joining us in the last segment, women's basketball head coach, and of course he had an exciting trip to Costa Rica, and they'll be getting matter of fact they'll be getting going here pretty soon with practice and stuff. Season opens for them on November 13th, and also season tickets are available right now. GoRunners.com/TIX available for men's and women's basketball. Great packages this year as well, so a lot of new stuff. Check it out and give them a call and get your season tickets all squared away for the 2015-16 season at the Icardo Center. Well, it was a great story, not just a few months ago. Matter of fact, it popped in the San Diego Union Tribune and a couple other places where this minor league baseball player decides to retire kind of in the prime of his career to go become a manager inside the same organization. And that minor league baseball player happened to be one of our own, Jeremy Rodriguez, who went from player in the San Diego Padres organization to manager of the Dominican Summer League Padres. And he's just wrapped up a season. He joins us now on the program. J-Rod, man, good to talk to you again. And how you been?
I'm great, Corey. Thanks for having me.
Well, first of all, congrats on the gig. And this was such a great story. And I know it was such a whirlwind because you retired after playing a game with Lake Elsinore. And then about 3 days later, you were on a plane to the Dominican Republic. And then you were making your managerial debut a few days later. So what was that whole experience like, especially right away when you had to make that decision when they came to you with this offer?
I knew something was going on that week. We were getting a catcher. One of our starting catchers was returning, and so I had a feeling something was going to happen. So when I found out our catching coordinator and a couple of our other coordinators were in town, I just was kind of just preparing myself for something. And from the beginning of spring training, they were, kind of just hinting, for me to coach or just let me do some things that the coaches would do. And so I was kind of preparing myself, but it's still when they finally ask you, give you your options, it still kind of hits you pretty hard. I was very honored and blessed that they, thought of me, to manage at the age that I'm at. So what, they pretty much just brought me in the office. They gave me the option. I can either, go back to Arizona and just wait until, either an injury or a spot's open, or I can, go to the Dominican next week and start managing. So I made some very, important phone calls, my friends, my family, some of my coaches that, have been in the player development section, and they pretty much told me that doesn't happen. This opportunity doesn't come up to someone who's, as young as you and who has no coaching experience. So when they told me that, it was kind of a no-brainer. I was already looking, my future and kind of what I wanted to do. And I did a little travel ball coaching this off season, and it kind of really opened my eyes, and I really enjoyed it. So the manager came up to me and he goes, "Hey, you're playing Sunday," and that was Friday night. And I told him Saturday morning that Sunday will be my last game.
And you had the chance too. You had the chance to play one final game with Lake Elsinore, and then basically retire as a player to go become a manager. So you got that chance that a lot of players don't get, to play one final game and know it was your last game. So what were the emotions like there, knowing as a player you were finished, but obviously you had a bright future as a coach?
Right. No, it was very emotional. I woke up that morning. I actually could barely sleep, and just thinking about the past, and when I played travel ball, and just all my memories that I've had. And it's as a coach, or I've had coaches tell me, like, hey, you got to play this game like it's your last game you're playing. Well, I actually got to experience that, and you put yourself in a different level. Like, I was hitting ball. I hit a ground ball to second base, and I was running. It's probably the fastest I ever ran in my life. Just to know that these are going to be the last times I'll be running to first base.
Sure.
And when I play this game, I always wanted to make sure I go out with the impression that, hey, you know what, this kid plays the right way.
Yeah.
So when I finished, that's what I wanted people to think of me. And I was going out to the left field line and getting ready to stretch, like I was not tearing up, but I was getting pretty emotional. And then right when we went to the national anthem, that's when the tears started coming. I just bowed my head and just started crying. And it's weird. I had these two little kids next to me, and they're looking at me like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine. But for me, it was really emotional. My whole family came. It was a big thing, and the Lake Elsinore Storm, man, it was just a great organization. They really put up a great little ceremony for me after I got a hit and got a nice standing ovation, and it just they did a great way to let me go out.
I know that you come back as well and throw out a first pitch here recently as well to kind of honor the work you did in the Dominican. But let's talk about that real quick. Then all of a sudden, a few days later, you're on a plane. We showed some of the pictures on the screen as you were chatting there in the last couple of minutes. But all of a sudden, you're talking to umpires and you're setting starting lineups and you're managing. So really, not a lot of time to, I guess, get in that emotion, because it was right back to work for you all of a sudden now calling the shots.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a different type of role. Like, I've never, as a catcher, especially at, Cal State, I was always, take control of the defense, the pitchers, and it was a little similar to that, but, making, the lineup, the signs, and it was nice to have my coordinator there to help me out. The first day, he put the lineup together, because I didn't know any of these kids. So he put the lineup up, and he asked me, he's like, hey, I can manage the first game. And I go, no. I'm going to get my feet wet, I'm going to jump, and I'm either going to swim or I'm going to sink. And he loved it. I didn't want to just sit and watch. I wanted to jump in there and make mistakes. I wanted to, do things that other people don't do. And, it was interesting. In the first 2 innings, we scored 8 runs. And everyone's looking at me like, what the heck?
You're like, this is easy. Managing, this is a piece of cake.
Exactly. Because the team that we had, pretty good talent-wise, but they only won 17 games last year out of 72.
Wow.
So they didn't expect a lot from this year. And for this year, we won 31, which, was, for me, in my eyes, I felt like it was a great year. I know we could be better, but, these kids improved and they had a lot of fun.
What was the biggest, I guess, difference for you? What, as far as obviously not playing, but being a manager all of a sudden, what were the things, the kind of quickest lessons you had to learn, and the things that you noticed right away were a little bit different being a skipper as opposed to a player?
Everyone's watching me. I really had to be careful on what I said, how I did things, because these players. And I remember when I was a player, I always looked at the manager, see how he acted that day.
Right.
But for me as a player, I always came to the field with energy, positive and ready to go. So I kind of took that same mentality as a manager, and I just wanted these kids just to have fun, enjoy this game, and because I always knew when I played, like, if I was really tight or serious, I wouldn't play to my full potential. Again, there's the discipline action I definitely had to enforce, and that was a little different, telling kids, like, hey, you got to sit the bench today, you didn't run hard to first, but, it had to happen.
Nice. And it's funny part is, when you were drafted by the Padres, a couple of the coaches and I were, talking about you and things like that. We knew the Padres put you in big league camp a couple times because the pitchers all liked you. We always thought, J-Rod's going to be a good organization guy down the road. And sure enough, here you are. You're an organization guy. They put you in an organization in a pretty important role. What's the kind of future hold for you with the Padres? Is this something you're going to continue to do, hopefully in the near future with the Padres organization?
Yeah, if it's if they still want me to manage, I'm more than happy. Whatever they want, I'm going to be more than happy to do. I really enjoyed coaching and managing, and just, it's a game of chess, and I loved, thinking ahead in situations. I got in trouble a couple times because I took some of our prospects out early in the season when I wasn't supposed to, but we won.
Yeah.
So in my head, I'm like, oh, great. And, I got some phone calls like, hey, congrats on the win, but, you got to make sure these guys play, in big situations. Because again, these kids are only, 17, 18 years old.
Yeah.
So, and they haven't played a lot of baseball. I'll find out later this fall on what next year has in store for me. But whatever it is, I'm more than happy and excited to do.
That's something that a lot of, not only, in your case, the Dominican Summer League, but a lot of minor league managers have to deal with. It's not just, let me put the best guy in on this situation. It is, certain players need certain amount of time to develop and or need to be seen, and they're being, big prospects in the organization. So was that kind of a challenge sometimes, keeping that in the back of your mind after you knew that, hey, certain guys have to play a certain amount of time?
Right. No, and it was definitely... as you know, Corey, I'm a competitor. I love to win. I hate losing. So that was a little bit of a challenge for me in the beginning because I knew the right move. I knew this will work. But I also had to think in the back of my head this kid needs to play. He needs to face a lefty on lefty. He needs to get that experience because at the end of the day, in that level, the wins and losses it doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. What matters is, having these kids grow as ball players and making sure they're ready to move up and make sure they're students of the game and not just guys that just hit and throw. Having them understand why we do things and how we do things.
Well, and I'm sure it looked like you had great facilities to work with, and the Padres looked like it was a first-class operation there down at the Dominican as well. So seemed like that worked out well for you, and I'm sure you're pretty happy you got your Spanish a nice workout, huh?
Yeah, definitely. I was a little nervous. I was on the plane on the way over there, and I had my speech, my introduction speech all lined up, and I felt like I was in my communications courses, at Cal State, just. A little nervous, but in English, I can give a speech in front of anyone, no problem now. So when I went in Spanish, I was thinking the same thing, but it was just a little different because I really had to remember the words and the proper, pronunciations and all that stuff. And boy, I tell you, man, those kids, they'll let you know real quick if you mess up. But it's nice because throughout the season, I would always have a word for they would give me a word for myself, and I would have to announce that I would have to say that word, throughout the whole day.
Nice.
So that was how I practiced, and I did the same with them in English.
Nice.
So we were going back and forth, and we were really helping each other. And it was, these kids, they take, on home games, they play, or they have English and math and Spanish classes.
Oh, wow.
So these kids are in school, right after the game for about 5-6 hours. So these kids are they're learning, and getting ready for when they come to the States.
Awesome. Well, man, it sounded like a great experience. I know you did a great job winning 31 games with them as well. So congratulations on that. Good luck with what the future holds with the Padres. I'm sure they got something great lined up for you. And we look forward to chatting with you again. And hopefully I'll see you in Bakersfield. I know you're coming in here next couple of days, so stop by and say hi.
No, I definitely will. Thanks again for having me, Corey.
All right. Jeremy Rodriguez here on Roadrunner Rundown. Again, former Roadrunner and now manager inside the Padres organization with the Dominican Summer League Padres. So went 31-42 this year. Not bad from a team that won 17 games last year. So congratulations to him. When we come back, folks, we're going to speak with Dr. Christopher Hamilton. He is the team surgeon for our student athletes at CSU and works with Southern California Orthopedic Institute. Got a lot of great things coming up with SCOI. We'll talk with him about that when we get back. This is Roadrunner Rundown. College soccer heats up with 3 games coming to the CSUB main soccer field. First, CSUB women's soccer hosts Sacramento State on September 4th and UC Riverside on Sunday, September 6th. Men's soccer returns to action for their official home opener on Friday, September 11th as the Runners host Loyola Marymount at 7:30. Tickets are $9 for adults and $6 for kids. Join the Runners this season at the main soccer field.
Go Runners! Bakersfield! Yeah!
This is First Look with Scott Cox on News Talk 1180 and the new 96.1 KERN. This is First Look with Scott Cox on News Talk 1180 and the new 96.1 KERN.
Introducing a new way to get the news. The Bakersfield Californian e-edition. It's not a website, it's the actual Bakersfield Californian right on your laptop, tablet computer, even your smartphone. All the news, features, pictures, and ads you're used to right at your fingertips. Now you can get the Californian on your schedule, anytime, anywhere, any place. Get your new Bakersfield Californian e-edition today. Visit eedition.bakersfield.com.
CSUB Women's Soccer returns to the main soccer field September 23rd and 26th for a pair of huge matches. Join us on Wednesday the 23rd for the annual Rowdy Run as we welcome new students to CSUB at halftime while the Roadrunners take on UC Santa Barbara at 7 p.m. Then on Saturday, September 26th, the Runners open conference play against Grand Canyon at 7 o'clock. Tickets are $8 for adults and $5 for kids and available at valleytix.com or by calling 654-BLUE. CSUB Women's Soccer September 23rd and 26th at the main soccer field.
Thursdays at 10 a.m. on Bakersfield.com, you'll find your favorite pair on the air. Don Clark and Tina Miller host Open Up, a show devoted to getting inside the real stories about real people. From community leaders to small businesses, Open Up is your forum to tell it like it is. It's Open Up with Don and Tina.
Roadrunners basketball 2015-16 season tickets are on sale now. Don't miss your chance to see top-notch NCAA basketball right here on the blue court in Bakersfield. Men's basketball season tickets start as low as $112 for 16 games, or you can buy combination season tickets for every men's and women's home game this season. For all the new season ticket options for this season, visit GoRunners.com and find the ticket that's right for you. CSU basketball season tickets available now. To order or for more information, call 654-BLUE. And welcome back to Roadrunner Rundown. My thanks to Jimmy Rodriguez joining us in the last segment. By the way, folks, if you missed any portion of that interview or Greg McCall, you can get the show on demand at GoRunners.com a little bit later today, and it'll be up throughout the week. And GoRunners.com/rundown has all the archived editions of season number 3 available as well. So check that out. And I want to join back to the program now. He is he's our team surgeon with CSUB Athletics. Does a fantastic job. He works at Southern California Orthopedic Institute. It's Dr. Christopher Hamilton. Good to see you again. How you been?
Been great, and it's good to be back here again.
How's the get up on that microphone a little bit? Okay. How's the off season been? I know with teams out of competition that maybe slows down a bit. Are you just kind of operating on like weekend warriors like me who do something stupid, or are you? Well,
yes.
Essentially, yes.
Actually, yes. But no, actually, we don't really have an off season,
right?
And in the same way that college athletes, quote unquote, have an off season,
sure.
They really don't have an off season either. Not to mention their in-season demands may be a little bit smaller. They may not be doing as much sports stuff, but particularly for the athletes who get hurt, they really have to work year-round to get back.
Yeah.
And so we do a lot of off-season coordination, helping to coordinate their rehab and recovery, which many times we can get somebody through the season, and then if they need to do something surgically, we'll do that at the end of the season, or we try to time it appropriately so that they don't use redshirt years, or we use medical redshirt years appropriately, so that they can maximize their eligibility, maximize their on-field experience, minimize their time when they're not when they're hurt, and really give them the best functional outcomes to keep them as student athletes.
Well, you bring up an important point because you brought up the rehab and recovery. It's not just somebody has an ACL injury or whatever it might be. We send them to Dr. Hamilton and you do the surgery and then you're done. But you're not. You assume the care all the way through the process.
Right. And in fact, we like it if the athletes are here over the summer. For instance, a basketball player who gets hurt, that we can govern the rehab. And yes, I micromanage a little bit, but I think that's also how you get good results.
Right.
But so that we can coordinate their care. Or if they're going home, we can make sure that we're interfacing with the orthopedist who may be taking care of them at home, and that we're coordinating kind of the care through our physical therapists. The trainers here do a great job. So the three, Michael and Jason and Kendall, do an incredible job of helping to keep their athletes kind of in the fold over the summer.
Right.
And making sure they're making the appropriate progress so that, for instance, the basketball player who gets back is ready to play in November, October, November, when they really hit the season hard. I mean, soccer's already here. Women's volleyball is here.
Yeah.
They're well into their season. Women's basketball in Costa Rica. So, again, there's really not much of an off season.
No.
Especially for the kids who have surgery.
And then you also have that issue too. I mean, every year we bring in a fresh crop of high school athletes, and a lot of them might come in with a pre-injury or get hurt right away, and so you got to kind of assume their care right away.
Correct. And we have to make sure that they've been appropriately taken care of. We've had an athlete or two who got hurt. The school's great and still honors their scholarship if they think they're going to help them, even if it may mean a redshirt year. And that's really important for high school kids. It's not the end of the world if you do get hurt.
Yeah.
It's much more important to get the injury taken care of and coordinated. So, for instance, we have a women's volleyball player who tore her ACL at the beginning of the summer. We help to make sure that she got appropriately taken care of. We're assuming a rehab as soon as she gets back. And so that try to make that as seamless as possible and work as well as if we had taken care of that athlete from the minute she got hurt.
Yeah. Well, it's great, and it seems to be working for sure because Southern California Orthopedic Institute is now celebrating your 20th anniversary, which is awesome, and you're not just doing what you've been doing. You guys are continuing to expand.
Well, yeah, and it's been 20 great years in Bakersfield. Several of my partners had the foresight to kind of expand up into Bakersfield. We've been able to bring a high level of all of us being fellowship trained, subspecialized in what we do. The three of us who do sports medicine all have added qualification in sports medicine. And we've just added now a hip and knee surgeon who's full-time to not necessarily help as much with the athletes, but to also expand to the Bakersfield community and to the CSUB community as well, so that we have somebody who can help us with more joint replacements. And particularly in Bakersfield, the orthopedic population has been aging, and both of physicians and in general the population as well. So we've been able to continue to expand for the community and again provide what we think is a higher level of care with, again, fellowship trained orthopedic surgeons here to expand our line.
No, it's great. And like I said, I mean, we know to have your group and you at our disposal, I know is huge for us because we know when an athlete gets hurt, it's not the end of the world, as you put it, but we know they're going to get the best care. And it's not we're just trying to bargain shop and find somebody who can cut on them. We're going with somebody who's really going to help us get them back to 100%, if not better.
Well, thanks for the confidence. I'd like to hope we do an okay job.
Yeah.
But it's a great challenge trying to get a high level athlete back to the level that they were before.
Yeah.
And I think that's the paradigm for the weekend warriors like yourself.
Yeah.
You still need to get back to your level of function too.
Well, my level of function was never that high to begin with. I'm going to tell you that right now. So it wouldn't be that tough to get me back to my high level of function.
It might be harder than I think or than you think.
Absolutely. You don't get paid enough to do that. But no, I thank you for everything you do. And again, 20 years in Bakersfield is fantastic. I know you've got a great tie-in with all the professional organizations that are here, also from around the Southern California area as well. So thanks so much for helping us out. and we'll get you back on the show here throughout the year as we get a few more things pop up.
Be happy to do it. We'll talk about specific injuries, anything else that the Roadrunner community may want to hear about.
Awesome. And if something pops up that I can't on the air one day thinking I hear of a weird injury, I'm going to give you a call and make sure I get it squared away.
You got my number.
All right. Sounds good. Dr. Christopher Hamilton of Southern California Orthopedic Institute. We got to get out of here, folks. You can catch the show anytime online at GoRunners.com. You can get archived editions of the program. And don't forget, next week we'll be live on campus. We'll be from right in front of the Student Union there in Roadrunner Park as we celebrate Week of Welcome. Classes open up. We'll be welcoming the incoming class for this upcoming year, and we'll have coverage from on campus. Bob Macaluso, our new head baseball coach, will join us on the program. Also tracking down CSUB President Dr. Horace Mitchell, and several student athletes from various teams are going to be out on set next week as well, so we'll have some comments from all them. So a great show anytime we are on location. We'll be doing that next week as part of Week of Welcome. Get the show anytime online, GoRunners.com. Also news and headlines and schedules. Don't forget men's soccer home opener this Friday night at 7:30 against Loyola Marymount as the Roadrunners open up the official home portion of their schedule, and tickets available at valleytix.com or gorunners.com/TIX for all your single game questions and season ticket needs as well. We'll catch you next time, folks, on location on campus. We'll see you then. This has been Roadrunner Rundown.